Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation. Today, we will discuss an economic study that analyzes the effect of minimum wage on employment in the United States. The study, titled The Effect of Minimum Wages on Low-Wage Jobs, Evidence from the United States using a bunching estimator, uses an innovative approach to analyze how minimum wage increases impact low-wage workers. Let's dive into the key details on the study. In this presentation, we'll be explore how minimum wage increases affect employment in the USA using a bunching estimator method. The study aims to understand the causal relationship between minimum wage increases and employment, particularly among workers earning near the minimum wage. This research addresses as a crucial question. Do minimum wage increases lead to significant reduction in employment, or do they merely shift workers to higher wage levels? This topic is relevant because the minimum wage is a public policy tool that can affect both the worker welfare and economic stability for businesses. This charts to analysis of the effects of minimum wage policy and employment possibility as part of a study using the difference in difference method. The vertical axis for Y represents the number of the worker employed, and the horizontal axis for X represents the wage. The MW is a minimum wage, indicates the level of the minimum wage imposed by the policy, and this W represents the equilibrium wage level of the wage before the minimum wage was imposed. The blue area excess jobs above the delta A. This area represents the number of additional jobs that exist above the imposed minimum wage for the MW. This could be due to an increase in employment supply in response to the wage increase, attracting more workers willing to work at this new wage. The red strip area is the missing job below for delta B. This area represents the loss of jobs that occurs because the minimum wage is above the equilibrium level for this W. When the minimum wage is above the equilibrium wage, there is excess supply of the worker. More people are willing to work, but less demand for this work by employers, resulting unemployment. The interpretation for this equation, this delta EMP equals delta E plus delta B. Delta EMP represents the net change in employment due to the imposition of the minimum wage. This change is the algebraic sum of the additional jobs created by the new minimum wage for delta A and the job loss because the minimum wage is above the equilibrium wage for delta B. As a conclusion, this graph illustrates how an increase in the minimum wage can have both positive and negative effects on employment. The sum of the additional and the lost jobs will determine whether the net change in employment in the positive or negative. In a different indifference, the context as a study using this type of analysis will compare how this area changes in region or sector that were affected by the minimum wage policy compared to that we are not. The study focuses on the United States, where the minimum wage laws vary by state, allowing for comparison across different scenarios and the outcomes. This approach helps us understand not only the the direct effects on employment, but also how minimum wage change can influence wage distribution across the economy. The table reports the effect of the minimum wage increases based on the event study analysis, exploiting 138 state-level minimum wage change between the 1979 and 2016. The table reports 5 years average post-treatment estimate on the missing jobs up to $4 below the new minimum wage, excess jobs, and up to 5 above it. Employment and wage. The column 1 show the benchmark specification, while the columns from 2 to 6 explore robust to bin state, time trends, and the bin division period fixed effects. The column 7 report the simpler methodology estimate where we calculate change in the effect wage and unemployment by using state by quarter data, where the outcomes are the number of jobs or the total wage billed under 15 per hour. This table illustrates how minimum wage increases can create spillovers or indirect effects that influence way beyond the established minimum. These effects are a crucial part of the causal relationship being investigated in this study. To an identification strategy. To identify the causal impact of the minimum wage increases, the study uses the difference in difference method. This approach compares employment change in the state that raises their minimum wage with those that did not, before and after the policies change. This method is robust because it allows controlling for the other variables and might influence employment, ensuring that an observed difference attributable to the minimum wage increases. In addition to the different methods, the authors employing a bunching approach, which refers to concentration of jobs around the new wage level after a minimum wage increases. This method allows for the observing how employers adjust their wage decision affecting the distribution of jobs. This graphic shows the binning scattered plots for the missing jobs, for excess jobs, and total employment change to the value of the minimum to the median wage ratio for the 130 event specific estimate. The 100 events exclude 8 minimum wage raising events in the District of Columbia, since individual treatment effects are very noisily estimated for those events. The same graph illustrates how following a minimum wage increases, some jobs disappear just below the new wage level, while others emerge just above. In this branching phenomenon is crucial for understanding job redistribution and its impact on the labor maker. The results, economics implication, and limitation. The study results showed that minimum wage increases have a moderate negative impact on the total employment. However, this effect varies by sector. For example, in manufacturing, where the employment elasticity with respect to wage is higher, a more significant reduction in jobs is observed. In contrast, sectors like retail and hospitality see a smaller impact. suggesting that the sector tied influences the ability to absorb wage increases. This table shows a compared minimum wage effect across different sectors. The table reports the effects of minimum wage increases by industry based on the event study analysis. Minimum wage changes between the 1992 and 2016. The table reports 5 years average post-treatment estimate on the missing jobs up to $4 below the new minimum wage excess jobs and to up to $5 about its employment and wage for all selector in the column 1. Tradable sector, the column 2, non-tradable sector for column 3, the construction is a column 4, and the other sector is column 5. The restaurant is column 6, retail is column 7, and manufacturing industry is column 8. Our classification on tradable, non-tradable, construction, and the other sector is the same. In terms of economic implication, this finding suggests that modern minimum wage increases can be implemented without causing significant job losses, especially in a non-tradable sector. However, it is important to consider the local industrial composition before applying wage policy change. In the terms of economic implication, this finding suggests that the moderate minimum wage increases can be implemented without causing significant job losses, especially in non-tradable sector. However, it is important to consider the local industrial composition before applying wage policy change. These findings suggest that moderate minimum wage increases can be implemented without causing significant job losses, especially in non-tradable sector. However, it is important considering the local industrial composition before applying wage policy changes. Additionally, the study highlights the importance of monitoring long-term effects, as the initial impacts might differ from the outcomes observed several years after policy implementation. The study also has its limitation. One of the main changes in the difficulty in fully assessing long-term effects, as the data used primarily covers the initial years following minimum wage change. Moreover, while the bunching method provides valuable insights, it's made to capture a nuance of the labor maker, such as informal employment or undeclared work, which could be relevant in different economic contexts. The conclusion, in summary, this study provides a detailed view of how minimum wage increases affect employment in the United States. While the results indicate negative impacts, they are not as significant as one might think, paving the way for the future research and more flexible implementation of the minimum wage policies. We hope this discussion has been informative and has given you a better understanding of the changes and the opportunities presented by minimum wage policy. Thank you for your attention. We hope this analysis has inspired you to explore more about impact of economic policies on the labor market.